Hello! I'm going to show you a couple different pages that I've worked on already and interacted with the kids with. So they're not going to be perfect, but it'll at least give you some ideas of the fun stuff you can do. Basically, this is one that I've done before, and I had printed using this button over here. And in your computer, it's a whole lot easier because you don't have to keep coming to the side and click keyboard or whatever. You just use it more as you would use a computer screen and a computer keyboard and stuff, so at your own desk. So I prepared this ahead of time. This was actually a document I had helped cut and paste into here. These are the arrows using this, one of these lines, and then it's got different arrows and different things you can use. Over here I've got the flag. Oh, sorry about that. I've got to use my arrow thing just to make sure. I'll undo those things, but I'm going to use my arrow. We've got a flag here, and I want to add some music to this flag, so I'm going to link it with a song. I'm going to browse, and I actually have Oh Canada in here. So, okay, yep, that's the one I want. So now it's in here, so I just linked so that next time I touch this, it'll play Oh Canada. So that's pretty cool. It's been a lot of fun using that kind of tool too. So basically, any object on here, or any word or letter, you can click it, and then you can turn it into something. You can add a link to an internet site, you can add a link to a sound, a link to a video, and it can just be by touching an object and bam, it occurs. The kids had actually written things down on here before when I've used it, and then another time I actually had a document I wanted to talk to the kids about. So I had basically just inserted the document right in here, and you can scroll down, and then I showed it and I talked about with the kids their assignment with them. You can see we talked about Sprite TV commercials. I actually was able to insert a commercial right off of YouTube to show it to them. And we have the words and we talked about commercials, and that was their sample of a commercial. As you can see over here, these are all the pages that we've got. We talked about potato pancakes and creating different things. We had another day where we talked about air, and this was their actual morning message that day. Move the pictures, it said. So air has what? And we can move the pictures, and it had words right behind the pictures. So that was a really fun page to do. And actually I just kept these pages, and I used them day after day after day, and then the kids would remember, oh yeah, air expands, and we did little experiments with that too. This guy keeps blowing up because air has force. So, and this kind of thing, if you go to animations.com, basically anything, you can get all sorts of cool stuff to play with. So, this was an art project I did. I found an internet site. It had a picture of really cool artwork. We wrote designs on top of the picture, and then we copied it and put it over here and showed how it had symmetrical similarities all throughout the whole object. So that was a really fun art project. The kids worked on some more stuff like that on their own. And here you'll see too, this was another day. We were reviewing air, and we started to talk about courage. So I'm going to click down here to a different day. And here we go. Again, I have my Canadian flag, and I have the theme song, the anthem every day. And we had been going through different things of courage, and this was our first day. Every day we would brainstorm what would the next letter of courage be. So it was an A. So A stands for, and we had written things on here. And then when we moved the star, we found out it stands for, the word of the day was action. And then the kids had different things they were learning all about courage. So we had all sorts of stuff, and here's my shade. And what I had done was I had a shade here, so I only needed to show them a little bit at a time, and we would talk about it. So that's kind of what I did with that. Later on in the day, or that week, we had used this, and the kids had to write different things down that they needed to complete or do. They talked about what food they were going to bring in for a party. We talked about who still had to fly some airplanes. We talked about who still had to work on some speeches. So they had to use this as their way of talking about what assignments do they have due. So that was kind of fun. Another way we've used it, I found a poster off the internet for a cool topic, and then we discussed it and talked about fugitive slave act. We did a play together. The readers theater, and so I printed it up here really big. They could have their own copy in their hand, but this way we could all follow along together. I could even be pointing to the words as we go. We could even say, you know what, I think that I ain't come to find a place to stay. Maybe that's an important word, she said, but only find a place to rest my head. So maybe we would underline, these are really important words for the kids to know. And then later on the day, we even did some really fun stuff where we found a bonus. There was a video on the internet all about underground Canada. So that was cool. We stuck it in there and we didn't look at it until it was time because we had our shade, which was really neat. Another thing that was really nice and pretty fun, I'm going to exit my shade here because this one had